Oh man. Well, hello all and
Happy
happy
Thursday.
Thursday. And happy November, man. Okay. We
Here we
finally made
are.
it. Let's not we've been talking about milestones and things in previous episodes. So let's not negate the milestone, okay, that is we almost made it through the year. I don't know. It's a lot going on in the world. I'm around a lot of empaths. Yes, I am an empath. But I don't be
I
feeling
think
it.
so.
I don't be feeling it sometimes the way I feel like other empaths be feeling it. Like I've been around some
What is
people
an
this week.
empath?
It's just people that feel things very deeply and
Yeah.
super emotionally.
Okay.
And like when the air is charged, they feel it really strongly. It's part of being an artist, but some people I know like really be feeling it. Like you would think they are engaged in some of the things that are going on in the world right now because that's how deeply they feel it. Anyway, I don't know if it's that the world doesn't feel that great right now. It's a lot going on, or people are transitioning. RIP to Matthew Perry. We can acknowledge, even though we're team living single over here and always have been, but so sad. Um, if you know, you know. So yeah, we just gotta, we should be grateful though, still that we made it, that we can almost check this year off of our to-do list because there's a lot of people that can't. And there were some good things that happened for sure.
I agree.
I feel like this podcast is a good thing for us. That was
Yep.
fun. I hope it was fun for you guys. I mean, we'll be here next year, but you know what I'm saying. Flowers, giving flowers. And then, it's one of those things where like the year was also very challenging, okay, between finances and family and relationships and jobs and just the world was trash. The world is trash. I don't know because it's made up of people, okay, and people do trash things. So, and just the energy, I don't know about y'all. I feel like in the last like several months, just the energy to get through an entire day is a lot for me specifically.
It has expanded the amount of
It's challenging. And I don't know if that's
things required.
COVID, and I don't mean in terms of the sickness, though we did have it. I don't know if that's just like residual for me from lockdown where I just be like, do it take all that? And some days it does take all that, but just the churn of it. Anyway, and then, even some more harder questions, which, it's like we were talking about this earlier in the week, but like sometimes you feel like somebody somewhere just is expecting you to go crazy a little bit in like a besa. Let's be clear though, if you're a conspiracy theorist like myself, there definitely are people that absolutely want to have you be crazy.
That is the little people trying to get in your head, trying to drive you crazy.
And keep you down with the system. That's a whole nother situation. So some of that is true. Or again, just the mental energy and capacity that it takes to
navigate a day
in your own right mind every day. Don't let these people make you come outside yourself.
I totally understand now what old people used to say. I woke up when they give their testimony at church. I woke up this morning clothed, meaning I have
it's hard.
I had the conscious ability to put my clothes on today, and I am also in my right mind, which means if you're in your right mind, you put clothes on. You can see it though when you see people walking down the street.
It's a lot of
and
people
they're like,
it's a lot of people not driving in their right minds. It's a lot of things. Anyway, if you can relate to any of these things that we've said, or you're just like, "Ooh, the world is too much," you should stick around. We may have a solution. It's not going to fix the things, but it might help you feel better in the things that you're doing. So stick around because this episode is definitely for sure for you.
Hi, I'm Pam Williams, a mother.
And I'm Jessica E. Williams, a daughter. And this is a mother and a daughter truthful chat, where we discuss our 35-year multi-layered relationship.
We've been through so many ups and downs. Not only are we family, but we're business partners in the high-stress world of event planning and production for short films.
We've also shared the same therapist for over 10 years. What some people call codependence, we call collaboration.
So join us as we share stories from our lives,
have candid conversations with other mother-daughter duos,
and shed light on the roller coaster ride of being a woman while raising a woman.
Glasses or cups. We did have a debate whether these were glasses or cups. I said cups. What?
It wasn't these. We were talking about the ones without.
If it got a handle on it, it's a cup and it's a mug. These are mugs, okay? I feel like I use this one every week, but I am very much a Gemini.
But we were talking about glasses, what I call glasses, But then I thought about it because red party cups don't have handles, and you call them cups. So
cups.
yeah, they're cups. So
And
I don't know.
And
whatever you drink out
cups. Anyway, I'm glad. Glasses, mugs, shot glasses, wine glasses, whatever you got. Anyway, welcome to Truthful Chats, where we focus on the ongoing practice of getting to generational wellness. If you have never heard of the term generational wellness, that's because we made it up. If you hear anybody in the streets putting our name in their mouth, you should check them and be like, you're not the inventors of that. Anyway, here at the Create Generational Wellness channel, we talk about all sorts of things related to mental and emotional health, family dynamics, well-being, trying to make sure you are the best you so that you can be the best you for other people. Mm-hmm. So you're not pouring from an empty cup, as they say. And so look in the description box or something below here for a description of generational wellness. But this show is Truthful Chats. And on Truthful Chats, we unpack themes and topics. So every month we have a theme. And then we use these particular, however long we're on here to discuss whatever we're going to be discussing. Okay, and shout out to us for honoring this because we have other things that we do, and sometimes we be smashing those things with this thing, but we're committed. We told y'all consistency was only cheat code, and we meant it. Anyway, it is November, meaning it was a new month. Last month was September, and we talked about evolve. That was our word. Again, shout out to the Woman Evolve podcast. We don't want no smoke. We love you, SJR. She's my first lady. Anyway, so we don't want no smoke with the delegation. I'm a member of the delegation. I know what that is. But anyway, the word for this month in November is train. And today, it's train yourself to journal, because we talk about it every single week about journaling. And we were like, maybe people don't really know how to do that or what that means. And I actually realized I have not been journaling. We've been talking about it out of our own understanding of journaling and how great it was been in past seasons of our life. But I realized today, as we were preparing for this episode, I said, I think I don't be journaling like that. I do notes, but like an actual journal, I haven't done that in a cool minute. So yes, it's very insightful for myself, and I think I'll be participating.
Yes. We're gonna well, I'll show you my journal in a few minutes, but I feel like I'm gonna do this gratitude one too, just because we need to.
I mean, that's a longer, short way to say we have activities if you want to participate.
This month. Yeah.
This month. So, no one's gonna check them or whatever. We'll just be holding each other accountable once we meet here on Thursdays.
Yep. Tell us what you did. All right. If you joined us before, you know how passionate we are about our mental health. And as Jessica said, you repeatedly heard us talking about journaling. So we were like, we take it for granted that people know exactly how to journal. So that's why this month's episode is train, because we're going to kind of help you. If you are already journaling, terrific. We're going to applaud you and cheer you on. But if you haven't started journaling, we wanted to kind of talk a little bit about easy ways to get started, what it looks like, and what you do when you journal. So it's the practice of writing down your thoughts, your feelings, your expressions. Believe it or not, there's some different ways to journal, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You can do it manually with a pen and a paper, old school. There are a lot of digital planners online. There are a lot of journaling apps. There are all kinds of ways that you could journal, right? And what's the point of it? What are the benefits of it?
Well, what is the point?
What is the point? So as we were talking about earlier, there are a lot of things going on, and you probably are feeling some type of way about those things. But the more things
processing.
Yeah, but the more things pile on, the more you just got all this stuff in your head, in your body, really in your body. You carry a lot of it, and in your joints, in your hands, in your back, in your wherever it is, the stress in your neck, all of that is all of this stuff that you're carrying that you don't have a way to dump, to get out. So when you journal, you process and understand your emotions in a safe space. You're just talking, writing it down. Nobody is reading it. It's between you and God. That's it. You better understand yourself, what triggers you, what makes you hot, what makes you happy, what makes you want to whip somebody. All of those things, if you start to journal, you'll start to see a pattern. You'll start to see a pattern of why you do the things you do. As the Temptations used to say, I'm going real back far. Stop, come back.
That was the 3 6 Mafia.
All right. I can't believe they won an Oscar for that. But anyway,
they did. Taraji was squally. I remember. Google and listen, go on YouTube and find them singing this song out here for a fifth at the Oscars. It's a good time.
All right. Why we journal. It improves your well-being. See how happy she got just thinking about that? Sometimes if you go back and read your journal, there's something in there that's going to make you smile and get you out of a place where you may not want to be today.
Or just remind you of who you were at that time, which sometimes is laughable. So, it's a good thing to track your progress.
Yeah. You can manage. It's a good tool for managing stress and anxiety. Like you said, it's a good tool for tracking your progress. You'll look back and see that's something that used to be so upsetting to you. It doesn't even faze you anymore. So you know that you've grown personally and you have a record of that and you can see it and remind yourself that where you are now is not where you're going to be 2 years from now. You're still going to keep growing and evolving, we hope. All right. Again, release that pent up tension. We are all carrying a lot. We're all dealing with a lot here in 2023. Wars, rumors of wars, as they say in the Bible, crazy people shooting up. It's just a lot that even doesn't have to do with your own personal life. It's just all the swirling stuff around you. So if you don't find a way to release some of that stress, you are going to not have good mental health. I'm not saying you're going to go crazy, but your mental health is not going to be well. It can give you a sense of relief, a sense of calmness. It can take away, you know how sometimes you keep thinking about something over and over and over and over again. This is the reason I keep lists. You don't like to keep lists. But if I don't make a list, I'm going to be thinking about that thing over and over and over again, and it occupies a place in my brain. So once I write it down, it's out of my brain, it's on the paper. I can go to the paper and look at it and say, okay, I did that, I didn't do that, I still have to do this. But I'm not in my mind going, oh, don't forget you gotta, blah, blah, blah. So I
like to train my mind to do that. How much can I keep it?
No, I have this little old people phone, and it has a little place in there where I can write down notes.
We don't have a notes app.
I know, but you know how I am about this phone. But anyway, my notes app is very helpful for me to not keep ruminating over tasks that I need to do, and I can free that space up in my mind.
Notice she said tasks. She didn't say nothing about her mental, emotional well-being. She said the stuff she needs to do.
Well, that affects my emotional and mental well-being, as you well know. If I have a lot of stuff that I feel like I need to do, and I haven't,
herself that if she
haven't gotten it done,
her mental,
it affects my emotional and mental well-being. It does. I know that about me. So it allows you to try and let go of emotional baggage, find inner peace, improve your overall mood and well-being. It's just, there's just a lot of things that journaling will do, and it gives you like a big return on your investment, right? You can have a more positive mindset, outlook on things, and track your progress and your achievements. Like I said, I like to do. And
the doing of it all.
But once you move and can look back and see, you know, I accomplished this, even if it's a change in how you approach things. I'm not as much as a doer as I used to be. I am learning. Okay, be quiet. But I'm trying to learn how to.
She's adjusting to the fact that she can't be that person.
Absolutely. So, but journaling helps me do that. So, as you can see, like I said, a lot of benefits, a great return on your ROI for taking the time. If you don't know what that is, return on investment. I am that person. You're investing in yourself, and you'll get a lot out of it by just putting a little bit into it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
You're getting a lot. Bang for your buck. Okay, so I feel like all month we're going to be talking about this. Because y'all going home and the things, and people and stuff. We've been talking about it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. But some things might happen. So just
that you might need to journal about. So we're gonna try to
give you tools,
teach you how to do it.
Wrenches and hammers and all the things. Anyway, so there are a plethora of ways in which you can journal. There's a few different types. So the first is traditional journaling. Okay, I feel like we've all probably done this at some point. I don't know. When I think of traditional journaling, I literally think of the tag. That's what they call it at the end of the show. The tag on Moesha with
oh yes.
For you young people, that's like a TikTok joke, but like it was really like the end of Moesha. Like she would narrate and be like, "Today was so crazy." Who would think that? Me and Hakeem, like it would be like if you've ever heard the theme song, you know what time it is. Anyway, but that's traditional journaling. Right? Yeah. Journaling. It is free form thought. It's you maybe documenting the day, or just you're really super emotionally overwhelmed, so you just get a pen and paper and you just start writing. Right? It doesn't have to have beginning, middle, and end or anything. It's just you.
It's just kind of a
verbal vomiting or
written vomiting.
Writing, vomiting, sort of stream of consciousness at the time. So it's just a safe space for self. Ooh, say that 3 times. A safe space for self exploration and introspection, and kind of just like putting your thoughts, like she said, somewhere outside of your brain, so you're not ruminating or going around and around about it. You have it out,
clarity,
because in the writing of it, you might see something that you are 100% conscious of, like something about the feeling of that will come out in the writing that's not coming out of your head sometimes, which is an interesting situation. So
and you know what, I find myself when I do that, sometimes I find myself writing down something that if I heard it coming from somebody else, I would have something to say to them about it. You know what I mean? Like I would feel like
perspective.
I would be like, you're not that person. You know what I mean? Like if I heard somebody beating themselves up or saying, I'm so dumb, I can't do this, or I'm not, like, when you journal, you might
your own therapist.
Yeah, you kind of become your own therapist, because you see yourself writing something down, and when you see it in black and white, it might trigger you to say, "Oh wait, I'm not that," and then you might go, "Oh, I'm really that, and I shouldn't be that." But either way you go, once it's not just a thing circling in your head like a cartoon, it's something that you can read in black and white. It becomes more tangible.
It gives you an opportunity to just see your inner world on paper in front of you, so that you're not keeping all these things sort of locked in a internal space, but you have it right there in front of your face. And then you can assess whether you with it, not with it, need to get some help from it. Maybe don't want to tell nobody about it besides the journal, but whatever, it's there. Gratitude journaling is the next type of journaling, and that's specific because it focuses on cultivating appreciation, thankfulness. It's a way to practice a positivity mindset. I feel like we've talked about this before, that humans are naturally kind of wired for a negativity bias, unless you're Joel Osteen.
No, you
but hey man,
all right,
that's his brand. He's good at this.
Yeah,
he's good at it. I mean, y'all don't all the
tell
time
your
believe
little
it.
Story.
Y'all don't all the time believe it, but I don't know, something is happening over there. Anyway, so yeah, gratitude journal helps with cultivating thankfulness and appreciation, and helps with the positive mindset. Because even though all these bad things could be or will be happening, it's cool to be able to look at a list of things that are good. Big things, small things, in between things, just things that make you feel like life is worth living today. Like, oh, okay, it's not all doom and gloom all the time. And so it's a good way to train your brain towards positivity, which is something that I need. So that's probably something I'll be doing, because the last several months have been a struggle. Even though a lot of positive things have been happening, but then you also just be like, man, whatever, bro.
But, and again, we've talked about what that releases in your body chemically, the oxytocin and the cortisol. So cortisol.
It's been heavy on cortisol. cortisol.
Yeah, cortisol will tighten you up. It'll jack you up. It'll have your heart racing. It'll have all kind of feelings that you probably don't want in your body.
And the world be letting the cortisol out too.
Yeah, it just, it's a hard place in terms of your emotion and your physical well-being. The oxytocin, though, is what releases and helps you to calm down, helps you to regulate your brain,
your happy
helps
hormones,
you to your happy hormones. So those will help you to kind of regulate and
regulators
balance your life. When I was talking about the relief and the calmness, that's the oxytocin flowing through your brain. So you got to do something to create that when CNN and MSNBC is on all day long. You know.
True story. Not for me though.
Yeah,
I watch podcasts and TV shows.
Yeah, you got to figure out where that place is, where you can adjust your cortisol and adjust your oxytocin. And a gratitude journal is a really good place to do that.
Bullet journaling is next. This was not something that I was familiar with, but it combines traditional journaling with organization and planning, which sometimes is my strong suit, but also sometimes not. So it's just the idea of creating bullets or some sort of symbol system to help you check off tasks, which I used to do it a lot in production because it was always too many things to do. So yeah, it's just a matter of like, maybe you do stars and that's all household things, and then rectangles is for work, and then circles is for your kids or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's having a journaling system that helps you keep track of your goals, tasks, achievements, activities, everything in between. So again, it's not just rummaging around and then you might forget something and then you feel really bad. We've all had those days where we was like, dang, I forgot about that thing. I tend to put things in my calendar, but it's also good to just have those things for when you need to check the stuff out.
And when you combine the traditional and the bullet, then once you accomplish the task, then you can
write how you feel about it.
You can write how you feel about it. You can write how you felt about having to do it. You get it done. You write about how you felt about doing it, how it might be better to do it a different way, but you're tracking it. You can see what you've
It's
done.
like combining a left brain, right brain task. You know how they say like one of your brains are super creative and the other one is very task oriented. So it's a chance to be able to combine those things so you can do the logistical planning, Virgo energy of it all. But then also be kind of like all over the place creative, maybe add some stickers and some little doodles or however you do what you do. But it combines being task oriented with creativity and self-evaluation or reflection. Yeah, because maybe you're like, dang, I did this, but it wasn't my best work, or how can I improve, or what got in the way of me doing my best work. So it sounds cool. Sounds like something I'm probably going to end up trying. Creative journaling for all the artists.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be limited to just writing
words.
Writing. I don't know if you write if it's not words, but writing words.
Oh yeah, I guess that other is drawing. Yeah.
So these are for the people who are doodlers and sticker people and crayon people and collage people. Like your brain thinks in pictures. Mine does too, but I don't have I have to describe the thing. I can't draw. So
yeah, you're a storyteller.
Yeah, I just be like, ooh, I wish. But some of my friends are like mad. They can be like, yeah, so it looks like this, and then like draw it. You know what I'm saying? Or put it out there. So yeah, this is all about like, think of them as like mini scrapbooks or
vision boards,
mini vision boards or whatever. Like you're expressing your thoughts in your inner world in a visual style of some sort. So you get to still journal, you get to see your inner world out, but it might not have a lot of words. Or in vision boards, sometimes you be cutting out those words from like little articles or whatever. Like it might have a words component, but it's not necessarily you writing things by hand, because just some people's brains don't work like that.
People say the creative journaling tends to be a lot more inspirational than the other forms of journaling.
I can see that, because that feels like you're aspirationally trying to figure out where you want to go, or you know what I mean? You're trying to remind yourself of like, okay, if I wrote this down and it's a whole bunch of negative things, then this might be the thing. So maybe you know, do traditional journaling first, and then maybe do a creative journaling situation after to be like, okay, this is where I am, but I have to remind myself of where I want to be. Or, you know, something in your traditional journaling might spark something to be like, let me do something aspirational or inspirational visually so that I can get myself out of this place. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a reset
I have
situation.
a really good friend I used to work with that really kind of did all of these in her journal, and it was her work journal. She would have it at work. It was her to-do list at work. It was her. She was very creative, so it always had pictures and things that were glued in it and little stickers and everything. But then she had that system where if it was a triangle, it meant this. If it was a circle, it meant this. If it was a square, it meant this. And she would draw, and she would always have these colors and markers and different things. And
she used all of it.
Yeah, she used all the things. And going into her journal was really like a journey. You could
and
see.
It probably kept her saying at that job.
Oh my gosh, it did.
Because for the days when you were like, I hated it. But yeah, I think that's to say you could do these things individually, or, you know, don't be afraid to be creative and or combine or be experimental. I think, you know, this is like a journey like anything else where you like, okay, we gonna start driving down this street, but then we might turn on another street and then go to this and then be in a roundabout and then do a whole bunch of other things. So you might, you know, want to experiment. Anyway, it's a written, verbal, or visual representation of your inner world all laid out in front of you. So it should be fun.
So if you're new to journaling, here's we're going to talk about a few tips to get you started and what that looks like. So the first thing is choose the right journal. I'm going to show you some of my old journals, and I can look at a journal and remember what was going on in my life.
Grapes.
They are grapes.
This was probably a spiritual journal.
It was a spiritual journal. Then I have
Jesus one is the true one.
That I just keep. This is kind of like a travel in my purse journal. It's not or my computer bag or whatever. So it's a journal for things that happen, like that I'm not expecting to happen, and it's not during my regular quote unquote journal time. But something may pop out or pop up, and I'm like, you know what? I need to write that down, or as we say around here, that's a T-shirt. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you'll hear something, and it'll be so profound and whatever,
surprise.
And you'll like, I need to remember that. So that's kind of what this little journal is. This is an older journal too, and
I can't see it.
Oh, sorry, that's an older one. It's a spiral notebook journal. So as you can see, there are all kind of different ones, and it has, you know, this little string to keep it. But I can see in here that I kind of did, wow, this is really old.
Girl, you gotta hold it up.
I did bullet journaling and word journaling and kind of a little bit of organizational journaling.
Yeah.
But anyway, but now my current journal is more like a prompt journal. And it's kind of beat up.
Which we will talk about if you don't know what prompts are.
Yeah, but it's really good. And so it has like, you probably can't see, but there you go.
Whoa. You gotta come back.
There you go. So it has, anyway, it says it's a prayer journal. And so it has a personal prayer and then a prayer for family and friends, a prayer for the overall church, the universal, you know, your local, well, for your local church.
Church in the spiritual sense, not necessarily.
No, I was wrong. It has for your local church and then for the universal church.
That's what I mean.
What are you praying? And then for people who don't know anything about God. So it'll have a little prompt in there every day.
This is a spiritual journal, obviously.
This is a spiritual journal. So you can have all kinds of journals. I also have a coloring journal that I haven't used in a long time, but I really miss that journal. But anyway, once I read what's in here, it will prompt me to write something else that comes up for me that I will write about. And so then I have little notes all over the side. So that's the one I'm using the most often right now.
But saying all that, so you may end up having multiple journals for multiple things, but it's also important to be like, do you like spirals? Do you not like spirals? Do you just want a regular basic spine? what colors speak to you or images speak to you? Is it going to be something that you're excited to look at, or people are going to be like, oh, what is that? Like, you know what I mean? Or
is it going to be digital?
Or do you want it to look like, don't ever look at my journal, it's just my own thing, it's very boring and basic? Or is it one of those ones where you tie the little strings in the bind? It's whatever. Or yeah, it's an app or notes on your phone or whatever the thing is. But as long as
the thing is, you
like,
have to like it. Like, you're not going to pick up your journal if you don't like it. Like, if you don't like what it looks like, if it doesn't speak to you in some form or fashion. So it's got to speak to your heart. Sometimes, you know, you have like really fancy ones, really basic ones, flowers, whatever. Whoever you are, pick
whatever
your
personality is, pick your journal.
Set aside your time that you're going to journal. Create a ritual around it. You might be a morning journal person. You might be an evening journal person. You might be both. You might journal in the morning with your coffee. You might journal in the evening with your tea. You might want to light a candle whenever you're journal. Turn the lights down a little bit. I personally love to journal when the house is perfectly quiet and perfectly still. So,
which is not often.
So you gotta like get in, like whatever. It's almost like when everybody leaves the house, I feel like, oh, you should journal right now, even if you weren't planning to or you don't feel like it. Here's a good time for you to get quiet and journal. So find that time, get a relaxing place. You know, we like it in this room. The sofa's reclined. Put your feet up, whatever. We always have the little candle right there to turn on when you need it. I also like journaling in my office, which is a bedroom that we turned into an office, and it has a desk for her and a desk for me and a little futon and a lot of books. So I may look over and see something and it'll remind me of something, or I might read a little bit or whatever, but that's another good place. So find your corner, find your place. Remove the distractions. Like I said, for me, I'm always better if the house is quiet. You may be a person that needs music, or to journal, or just to relax in general. Music may be something that relaxes you. When I do listen to music, I have like an instrumental station. I don't want to hear any words or anything because I will get distracted. So the quiet, acoustic piano, acoustic guitar, something like that will help me get into a place where I personally can journal. So find what that is for you. Start with a prompt if you need to. Like I said, in my prayer journal right now, it has prompts, so I use those quite a bit. But there's a ton of stuff, which we're going to be talking about over the month on the internet, where you can find prompts for particular things. Mm-hmm. And those questions you can answer.
Who is your friend?
We're going to give you a few for gratitude today before we go. But use a prompt. You know, don't just sit there and go like, oh, no,
I ain't got nothing to write about. I don't know.
Find a prompt, write about it.
Be about it.
That'll start to develop the habit in you. And then write freely. Don't worry about your grammar. Did I punctuate everything? Are the grammar police are going to come for me? If I die and they're going to find my journal and they're going to like, oh my gosh, she didn't use proper punctuation. That is not what it's for.
When I go back through journals, if I have to misspell words, I'd be like, because if and when I transition from this world, I don't want you finding my journals and be like, dang, she was using the wrong there's and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is for the archive. So I just be like, ooh. So
don't worry about it when you're journaling.
That's me though. That shouldn't be.
So try to get that out of your head.
Next up, number 7, be authentic, man. Journaling is a personal practice. It should be reflective of who you are as a person. So don't be trying to write like you think
the people
somebody that journals will write or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no journaling prototype. It's not like, the journal police gonna be like, why did you write that like that? That's not even how we do it. Like, it's your own personal journey. It's like mindfulness and like meditating. It's like your own space. Hopefully you can maybe do a mindfulness practice before you do it, right? So that you're in a judgment-free zone space. There's been these times where I'd be like, am I actually going to write this out that's been in my brain? Because I am afraid people will find my journals. But maybe because I grew up in the 90s and that was always a storyline. Like, somebody's parent would read their journals all the time.
It was.
Or their friends would read their journals. You know, I grew up, I watched Harriet the Spy. Harriet's whole life was ruined behind that damn book. If you watch Mean Girls, that burn book, that's what got him caught up, is the evidence. So there's a little paranoia. If you're paranoid, I understand. So you're not alone. But anyway, the idea is to forget about all that and just be with yourself and write your little thoughts and don't worry about nobody else. So be authentic, okay? 8, experiment and explore. Like we say, you can use all those different combinations of using a journal, like how you use a journal or the type of journal you could do. There's a lot of techniques. There's a lot of styles. You could write. You could doodle. Like I said, you could do the stickers. You can have many little peon figures that you put in there. You could do whatever you want. It's really your
Markers.
space. Like, can't nobody
Beautiful
really
markers.
tell you. Gowns, beautiful gowns. Sorry, shout out to Aretha Franklin. Anyway, whatever resonates with you and makes you feel like it's your own, that's what you should do. 9, find inspiration, man. Don't, it's like journaling is like prayer time. Like, it shouldn't be dry. Like, you'd be like, I don't really know what to say. Or like a first date situation, since that's what the people's minds are on. Why y'all not letting the people take out a Cheesecake Factory? You're not too good to go to Cheesecake Factory.
I did not know how big that was going to turn into.
I won't get into
when
it.
You were first
Black women, come on. And I'm sure it's not only us, like, but in our community, sometimes we be doing too much. Stop with the whole, we should do a whole episode.
Real Housewife show things.
We should do an episode about this. We should do an episode about this.
Maybe we'll I'm
not even gonna say this just a Real Housewives. This society is really doing a lot. Y'all really
train yourself to go to Cheesecake.
You're transacting. I don't know if you really want to be in a relationship. But anyway, since the first dates are a thing, you don't want it to be dry, okay? You want it to have some back and forth. So yeah, just see if you can find some, but maybe you need some help, okay? People are creating alternative lists now since y'all are out on the dating spots. So now you might need inspiration for journaling. There's blogs and articles and books and the AI and
so many
this,
things.
That, and the third. There's probably a podcast about how to journal well. There's all kinds of therapists and people. So you might need help. If you need help in the journalism department, like we say about everybody else, everything else on here. If you need the help, get the help. Don't let people shame you. 10, set a goal. I have to do better about setting goals. But anyway, if you're like, okay, I'm a journal for the month, or I'm a journal for 2 weeks, or I'm a journal for 10 days. Just pick a thing, stick to it. Maybe get your little accountability. And then just be like, okay, cool, look at me. Or I'm gonna write in this journal for 5 pages. If you hit that 5 pages, then turn up. You did a great thing.
Or a page a day. Or a paragraph a day. Whatever.
Or a sentence or a word, however you do what you do. Like, ain't nobody really tripping.
Just go for it. You're gonna feel so much better. I want you to be better.
Yeah, it'll give you a goal and a sense of accomplishment and some purpose and some direction. Embrace the imperfections, okay, of the journaling. This is 11.
But on the flip side, if you're one of them goal-oriented people,
don't get crazy. See, this is balance. It's a balance. Gemini.
If you're a goal-oriented person and you get crazy if you don't meet every goal you ever made, let that go too. Right? I know.
That's part of me. I know it.
Let that go.
I'm a failure. I'm a horrible person. I miss the day of journaling. It just, it shouldn't be all that, but I understand. So, don't get crazy about journaling. Journaling is to help you. So if in the journaling practice, you're doing things that hurt you, you're not journaling well. This like defeats the purpose of what you're supposed to do. If you're like, I miss my journaling time, my 15 minutes. Like, girls, just do it at a different time. Like, you know what I mean? So, or if you miss it, go to sleep and wake up and journal. You know what I mean? Just don't beat yourself up about it. That's not really the point. And then 12, celebrate your little milestones, okay? If you are taking the time to journal, you're doing it consistently, it's helping you, you're gaining clarity. That's an exciting thing, and you should be super happy about that. And, don't let nobody
get going,
mess up your little journaling time. I think this is probably on here somewhere too, but also, like, make sure you actually fully like set aside time for the journaling. Like, tell your family, like, I'm doing my little journaling thing. Like, please don't bother me. Like, make sure everybody's on the same page, because the worst thing is to like be in the middle of something, then your phone start ringing, or be in the middle of something.
So turn your phone off.
So there's
turn off the notifications, turn off the things, whatever.
Prepare so you can be fully Gabby Wilson focused. Okay. Mm-hmm. So all those things are good.
Finding the right words can be difficult. We talked about that. That is what a prompt is for. When you hear people talking about the AI got prompts, everybody got prompts,
okay?
And
you're never going to be sans prompt. Sans prompt.
A prompt is just a sentence or something that inspires you to start writing.
Y'all remember Mad Libs? Remember how Mad Libs had like them little sentences?
Yeah, you had to fill in the blanks or whatever.
Those are fill in the blanks, but that's what this is it's a little sentence.
It's a sentence that says, you know, we'll give you some examples in a few minutes, but it's a sentence that you go, oh, okay, I can write about that.
You used to do this in school too, where they would be like, last Saturday night, me and my friends, ... And then they would want like a detailed
That's a writing prompt, especially if you were in a creative writing class.
Yeah, it's like, you know, or...
So, hopefully you know what prompts are, and you'll be able to do that. And that'll give you a jump off point. Oh, that's probably not the right word, huh?
Jump off.
That will give you a starting point to be able to write in your journal. And again, the gratitude journals are really important for a number of reasons. Scientific studies have shown that it will improve your overall well-being. It'll improve your health. It'll improve your mental capacity. It will, help you take note of the simple things you achieve. So like Jess said, if everything seems overwhelming, there's something small that you can focus on that's like, okay, if all that was bad, at least
this one thing was good.
At least this is good. It helps you keep you happy because you're focused on those good things, like I talked about with the oxytocin and the cortisol. Focusing on the gratitude is going to release more of the hormones in your body that make you feel good. Listen, dis-ease
abounds, but
is a negative energy. It's something that you're uneasy about all the time. You can't help it. It just comes and you're uneasy, dis-ease about it all the time. So you can quickly counteract that as well by keeping your gratitude journal. So whenever you start to feel that craziness coming in, you go, let me go write down something good that's going on.
Positive going on.
There is something positive somewhere. I'm going to find it. I'm going to look for it.
Or maybe not. It's like their things are bad, but then you have to, you know good things are possible to happen again. You just might be in a little slump season, but you'd be like, let me go back and remind myself of all the positive stuff that was happening prior to this. So if you're down, you could go back up. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say.
Helps you focus on the true values in life. Like you don't get caught up with all the little petty stupid stuff.
The Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. You just, you go, okay, somebody.
The chain restaurant.
Here's a way to think about that in a different way. That whole Cheesecake Factory thing. Somebody is interested in having your company. Somebody
taking you somewhere
and talking
wherever
to
that
you.
is and getting to know you.
Getting to know you
for the first time, because this is the thing. Y'all trying to go to these places. What did Bishop say? Bishop says steakhouses are for married people. Some of y'all is really out here, and some of y'all are hungry. Let's go ahead and say that too. Stop using these men to eat meals. If you're so independent, you should be able to pay for your own food. No, I'm just saying. This is the first date. This ain't no drop all the bills. I don't know you like that. You might not be super bill worthy. Now this man's missing.
But they want to know you. But they want to know you, and
so does it matter if
that's
it's at
what you can
the
write
In-N-Out drive-through
in your gratitude journal? This person, dear diary, as Moesha would say. This is what happened today.
Remember her and Q used to be going through.
And it makes you approach things in a more organized way, a more realistic way. If you try to think about what is the actual value of what's happening to me right now, and it will help improve your relationships because, again, you can look, you can see. If every time I'm around so-and-so, do I come home mad? If every time I'm around so-and-so, do they say something that kind of sounded okay, but it was a little passive-aggressive or a little creepy? Or if I'm around this person all the time, I always come away feeling better. I don't care if we don't do nothing but go to the Cheesecake Factory. I still
go get milkshakes and
feel better. Maybe we just go to Starbucks and get a matcha green tea latte. You deserve, but I still feel better after I've spent 45 minutes with this person. So put that in your journal when you come back.
The quality of person, not the expense of said restaurant or dining experience.
the quality of the person. So yes, keep tracking your journal of the people that make you feel good, make you feel happy, make you want to be more with them, make you want to be better. You have some people that you hang around that make you want to be better,
and some that make you want to be worse,
and some that make you want to. They need to be better, and you see that, and you start to see a pattern. It's just noticing the patterns and keeping track, and that will help make your relationships better, and the people that you come in contact with, and hopefully they can carry what they learn from you into their other relationships, and that can help them be better as well.
Part of your wellness.
Yeah. Gratitude journal can help you sleep better. If you go to bed at night, and I know because I've been there, and I wake up and I am thinking about all the stuff that is wrong, that I wish was different, that I need to do that day that I didn't get done, and then that starts to play in my head. Whereas the gratitude journal can help you say, I did this happened for me today. I had a great conversation with my friend. I haven't talked to in a long time. This is what we talked about. This is how it made me feel, so forth and so on. And then that oxytocin again is released in your body before you go to sleep.
And that's actually for a family that I babysit for, they actually made that a practice in their prayer time with their kids. So they say prayers or whatever, but they always have to say like one thing they're grateful for in the day, which I do think helps no matter what kind of day it was.
Yep.
But calm down. I'm always like, oh, that's a good practice because it makes me be like, what am I thankful for today?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just a good habit.
And it relieves the stress in your body because stress lingers. If something bad happens,
the body keeps score.
The body
read
keeps
the book,
it.
But
the body holds on to that stress, and it feels like you're still going through it, even though it may have happened a couple of days ago or whatever. But if you can find a way to go into what was a stressful moment and pull something out of it that was good, that you're grateful for, now the stress memory is dying down and gone away. And the positive, grateful memory from that stressful situation is what your body is feeling. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, good. And it's like a muscle. You go to the gym, you do reps, you get better at it, whatever. When you practice gratitude on a regular basis, it's like building a muscle. So when something bad happens, you don't automatically go to the negative. You don't automatically go to the stress, this, that, and other. This just happened a few minutes ago. Jess was pouring her water bottle, and she missed the top of the water bottle. She was like,
it's been happening.
Yeah. And so, it's like,
concerning.
Okay, now that's not.
Now I was cussing about it, but I was really more so, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And she's like, why are you saying I'm sorry? I said, mainly because you don't like when I do that, but also I sounded like my dad and it was very weird. So I was kind of apologizing to myself at the same time.
Yes. Because the stress muscle, you gotta the gratitude muscle, you have to exercise.
Because the stress muscle gonna get exercised.
Because the stress muscle is gonna be there, so you have to counteract that. And I teach a class on how to kind of train your brain by what you say, and so the negative bias, it takes 5 positive things to cancel out a negative thing. It's a lot. It takes at least 5 positive conversations, words of affirmation, somebody encouraging you.
That's a lot.
5.
That's a lot. For
just one negative thing. So think about how many negative things we hear consuming? And are we taking in and are we consuming, and multiply that by 5, and that's as many grateful, positive things that you need to be writing about in your journal. All right?
The math is not math.
Yeah, there you go.
Here are some cool prompts, okay, to help get you started. I think we're gonna do these.
Can we put them on
this week
Instagram?
Yeah, probably. I'm behind. Let's just name these real quick. So list 5 things you're grateful for today and explain why they are meaningful for you. We'll probably put these up somewhere. Write about a small act of kindness you witnessed or received recently. Maybe we'll put these in the stories. That's
okay.
Reflect on a difficult experience from the past and find something positive that came out of it. That's very important. Retrospect. Write a thank you letter to someone who has made a positive impact on your life. Very important. Because it also will teach you that all people are not trash. Describe a nature scene that brings you joy and peace. Write about a recent experience that made you feel grateful and content. It'll be somewhere. Like I said,
story sounds like
I have a lot of things to catch up on for this and many other things in my life. So we'll figure out where these go. But maybe we'll put it up as a story, which will be,
I think that's good.
Cool. Or just run this back. Visually or auditorily. So anyway, we hope that we've convinced you that journaling is a very powerful tool in terms of your mental health and well-being.
We hope you've given you some, not only that we've convinced you that it is, but
you want to try it.
You want to try it. We've given you some steps that you
be
feel like I could do that.
I could do that.
Yeah.
And that, hopefully you'll do it enough that it becomes a habit and something you'll stick with. And again, all the benefits in terms of the clarity, the self introspection, self-reflection, again, sort of the tracking of patterns for mental and emotional things, tasks, and it gives you a space to practice being you, right? In a way that is non-judgmental. That's a safe space that can't nobody tell you doing it wrong, and there's none of that. It's just you and yourself, right? And that's a whole other thing. You and yourself and your expressiveness, your creativity, your life experiences, or things that you're examining and looking at in a way that will hopefully help you. So it's very transformational. And I think these are kind of simple, effective things that will help you in right relationship with yourself. And therefore, when you're in a right relationship with yourself, you can pass these tools on to said individuals you care about in your life. And that's the path to get to creating generational wellness, baby, at the end of the day.
Which is all we want for you in your life.
And for myself. And so that is our journaling situations for today. We are going to be talking about this all month.
We're going to be talking about
some form of
journaling and training and how to do it. Probably.
And I guess we'll hold each other accountable when we meet on Thursday. We might read something.
We
talk about some revelation or something like that. But you ain't gonna know what we said if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel. Follow us on the IG.
You ain't gonna know
us on Facebook or fan base. You ain't gonna know what's going on if you're not on the level because you ain't did your part to make it official. Y'all know we here every Thursday. We gonna be here every Thursday. Even on the days it's a struggle, we got other things going on. We are committed, as we've said. So with that, we will bid you adieu. We hope you have a wonderful next week. It'll still be November this time next week. And we'll be
check out our IG stories to find what your prompt is for the day.
Come check it out. And we'll put them up repeatedly. You can sort of get in where you fit in with the journaling, and we'll be back to share one of those things. Probably not in a whole lot of detail. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the Lord moves us on that particular day. Anyway,
we love you guys. Have a good week.
Peace.